I am extremely pissed off at Larry Fink's latest comments after the fake pump that happened. And he went on TV and turned around and said, this is nothing to do with us. This is nothing to do with the BlackRock ETF. This is to do with the world's need for a flight to quality. Here's the clip.
We're hearing from clients around the world about the need for crypto. I mean, when you think about, I think some of this rally is way beyond the rumor. I think the rally today is about a flight to quality with all the, all the issues around the Israeli war now, global terrorism. And I think there's more people running into a flight to quality, whether that is in treasuries, gold, or crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality.
So, what this clip actually shows is that Larry Fink is now admitting that Bitcoin is the flight to quality that everyone's been saying it already is. All the Bitcoin maxis, all of the people that you were told not to listen to, all of the Twitter people, all of the Reddit people, everyone that was out there saying BlackRock is wrong, BlackRock is wrong, BlackRock is wrong, has now been vindicated because Larry Fink himself is saying that Bitcoin is a flight to quality. I'm extremely annoyed at how these guys lie. I've seen it forever. I've seen it in real estate. I've seen it in gold. I've seen it in every market. And everyone's trying to worry about, oh, what's going to happen once BlackRock gets in, trying to manipulate the price. What about the manipulation that they've been doing for the last, 8 years, right? What about that manipulation? What about the manipulation of telling people it's rat poison? What about the manipulation of telling people it's the riskiest thing on earth? What about the manipulation of telling people that we don't have any? This guy literally said 2 years ago, we have zero interest. We don't have any interest coming from any of our clients about Bitcoin whatsoever. There's no interest whatsoever coming about it. What about the fact that there is manipulation right now in the sense that he's mentioning crypto, not Bitcoin? Now that is a subtle legal thing, which I'll cover in a second. But overall, what about the manipulation that has happened to keep the price of Bitcoin suppressed for this long? Let alone what may happen in the future. How come people are not annoyed by this, right? You sit there, you work hard, you go to work, you slave away for a wage that doesn't keep up with the inflation that they're creating. And then you turn around and then you tell people, don't invest in the one asset that can actually keep up with the amount of money printing that's going on until you're ready in order to pump your bags. That's what's happened here. This is what happens every time. The tale is old, and that's why YouTube is very important. It's why it's important for you to subscribe to the channel, because the more people we have listening to normal people that actually care about normal people, I'm not saying just my channel, subscribe to every Bitcoin channel. Support everyone, because everyone's important. Every single person talking about Bitcoin is important, whether you 100% agree with their view or not. I know there's a lot of people that don't agree with my view, but I appreciate the love and the support, because that's what's important. Because there might be someone who needs to hear it in the way that I say it, and then they become a Bitcoiner and then stop themselves from being subjugated by the likes of Larry Fink. This is what has been happening for 230 years. The person closest to the money spigot is the one disseminating the damn information and has all the trust. How does that make sense? The person who is closest to the money printer has the trust to tell you what to do. You don't think there's like a conflict of interest there? It's amazing to me. The same people that are slaving away day in, day out, trying to get out of this system of enslavement, are the same ones that are listening to Larry Fink on how to get out of it. Think about it. The whole system is screwed up. They told you that Bitcoin was a complete scam just 2 years ago, 3 years ago. 3 years ago, he's on CNBC saying we have no interest from any of our clients, and now it's a flight to quality and we got worldwide interest. And that, you think that happened in 2 years? What institutional money moves in 2 years? It's not going to happen. So this has been cooking for a while. Anyone who thinks BlackRock just dreamt up the idea of an ETF is $1,000 net worther. This has been happening for a while, many, many years, which means that they've been lying. Which means that they've been lying and withholding information. Or they're not withholding information, only disseminating information to the right people, because they put that report out there in 2019 or whenever it was. Or no, 2022. The one that said that the ideal optimal allocation for Bitcoin is 84.9%. That's from their team. It has a stamp on there saying this is only for our private clients. Guess what that means? It's only for you if you are rich enough. And that's what Bitcoin fixes. Bitcoin fixes access to information, because the only part of privilege that you get in Bitcoin is what price that you buy at. Unlike in real estate, I've said this example many times. If I'm in real estate, you're in real estate. We're in the same market. And there's a building available for sale and there's a good deal on it. I can't tell you anything about it. I can't help you. I can't offer you a hand. I can't do anything. Because why? Because if you have the liquidity, you're going to go behind my back to get that deal, as you should, because that's the incentives of the game. Whereas with Bitcoin, the only incentives of the game here is, in fact, it's better for me that I tell you because I look smarter. Right? I tell you, hey, I just got into Bitcoin. You should probably fucking take a look at it right now. If you don't do that, just like I didn't do that when my friends started telling me about it at 3,500, right? I had to buy at 5. I got onto it really quickly, but I didn't buy it at 3.5. So, the only piece of uniqueness when it comes to my Bitcoin or your Bitcoin, my deal or your deal, is what price I bought at. There is no other asset on the face of the planet that has that. It is a fully transparent asset. And that's why Bitcoin is special. And that's why Bitcoin is a once in a humanity experience. And you need to get some of it. You need to get to one Bitcoin, because clearly, as you can see, everything you're being told by Larry Fink and anyone else in the institutional space who said Bitcoin was complete trash is now saying Bitcoin's great. So how can you trust what else they're going to say? How can you trust when they say crypto makes sense? How can you, and by the way, when Larry Fink, I'm tired of this, when Larry Fink is talking about crypto, he's clearly said on CNBC that while we have a pending application, I can't use that word because it refers to the actual asset. So I have to refer to the group. It's like if I'm trying to invest in Apple, I can't say Apple, but I can say technology. It's the same thing. So when he's clearly made it clear, when he says crypto, he's talking about Bitcoin. We need to stop debating that at this point. Larry Fink is so balls deep into Bitcoin, you cannot even imagine at this point. That's what's going on, and people are about to miss it. Why? Because they're late, and they're not listening now. They've been trained not to listen. So now Larry Fink is saying, hey, we're about to get into Bitcoin's coming. This is Larry saying that Bitcoin is coming. Right? If you're a fan of hip-hop, this is like when Jay-Z was turning around and telling his team they better get albums out there because 50 Cent is coming. It's the same thing. It is coming. The thunderstorm is coming. And so the smart people are doing it and the dumb people are not doing it. But my problem is the dumb people have been lied to for so long. We might call them dumb, but they've been lied to for so long they don't know what the truth is. Which is why I'm here doing these YouTube videos. Which is why there's other Bitcoin creators out here doing these YouTube videos. Which is why there's people writing amazing books. Which is why there's people doing amazing podcasts. Because this information has to get out there, because the people who are supposed to be trusted to give you the information are lying to you. They're lying to you. And how do you know what else you can trust him on at this point? Within 2 years, Larry, you really mean to tell me within 2 years, suddenly every person in the world from all corners of the world suddenly started asking about Bitcoin to BlackRock? Come on, how much bullshit you expect me to take? They're lying to you. Bitcoin is the best asset humanity has ever created. It is the purest. It doesn't have any cost of carrying it, unlike property, right? Unlike property, it doesn't have any cost of carry. Unlike stocks, it doesn't have any risks of a CEO putting his dick in the wrong place, right? Or maybe nowadays chopping his dick off, I don't know. But it doesn't have any of these risks. It doesn't have any risks of gold. right? And I'm tired of all of these people lying. You got the gold guys lying. You got Peter Spina out here on my Twitter trying to tell me that the only reason he thinks peak gold has happened is because the rate of discoveries of gold mines has gone down, completely ignoring the fact that the amount of investment going into the gold space has collapsed over the last 10 years because it's no longer an interesting asset. How do you deal with this? How is the normal person supposed to win when the person that you are trusting to give you the information is incentivized to not give you the information? Which is why Bitcoin is the first time in history, not only do we have an asset that is actually finally scarce, we actually have an asset that has full transparency of information. Everything is available on the blockchain. You want to see who's buying it? You can see it. You want to see where they're buying it? You can see it. You want to see who's holding it? You can see it. You can see it. You can see it. You can see it worldwide at the exact same time. That's the beautiful thing about Bitcoin. And now they're prepped, they're locked, and they're loaded, and they're coming. Because he's been telling you for 3 years that it wasn't good, and now he can tell you it's great because his bags are ready. The ETF applications are in, the plan is in, the mining companies have been acquired, everything is ready, everything is stacked up. So now it's game time, now it's marketing time. So now he can tell you that it's great. And none of this is violation of any laws, by the way, I'm not saying any of that. And if anything, it's great business practice. If you asked me whether I was an $11 trillion asset manager, would I do the same thing? I'd probably say yes. That's me being completely honest. But it's just unfair. And Bitcoin is the first time that we actually have an opportunity for an asset that can actually be fair. In my world, when I was in real estate, I was not fair to many people. When I was in stocks, I was not fair to many people. When I was in gold, I wasn't fair to many people. Because let me give you an example in the gold space. Let's say I have a gold network in London, and I know that one of the gold sellers in London is giving away his gold bars at a 2% premium instead of a 5% premium. I'm going to go stack my bags first, and then tell everybody else. And then tell everybody else. And what if he runs out by then? Right? So with Bitcoin, you don't have any of that. You don't need to worry about any jurisdictional issues. You don't have to worry about any of that. It is the single best asset humanity has ever created, and you need to get to 1 Bitcoin. I know I keep saying this, and I know some of you, might be wondering, how can I even possibly get to 1 Bitcoin? You get to 1 Bitcoin, or you die trying. That's it. It's as simple as that. That should be your mission, because this is the one time in history that you can actually own 1 whole Bitcoin, and it means something. In other times, if you own 10 properties or 100 properties, what the hell does it mean if I can print another 100,000 properties over the next 20 years? What does it mean if I own, Apple stock, if I can just dilute the stock market with new unicorn IPOs every few years? This is the first time owning 1 of something means something. So you need to get to that point. You need to get to 1 Bitcoin. Time is running out. The guy is on CNBC saying Bitcoin is a flight to quality. Not gold, not the American stock market, not American treasuries, not American real estate. Bitcoin is a flight to quality. Understand the language here. Understand what's going on here. If you don't understand this, you're going to miss this. You really need to pay attention to exactly what the hell's going on here. If you're not doing it, you're not getting to 1 Bitcoin, you're going to miss out, because ultimately there are still only 3 rules to Bitcoin, no matter what Larry Fink lies about on a daily basis. Step number 1, you buy Bitcoin. Step number 2, shut the fuck up. And step number 3, you get fabulously wealthy.